Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies, and today what I want to talk about is international fitting limbs. And in particular, I'm going to talk about the T-bow, because this one just came back to me. So it came back from a customer, which we shipped it out to, and he said, I have a problem with the limbs clipping into the bow. If I get this wrong, the customer can re-quote it. So his complaint was that when he clips the limbs into the riser, he then can't remove them. So the bow comes back to me. I have to pay the return postage because he says it's faulty. Anyway, his abusers is one of my staff, and so they're off on stress leave. Anyway, so this is where we're at. So this is the limb clipping in. I'm going, oh, now I can't clip it in. Let me try that again. I can't clip it in. That's the upper because I'm doing it in the bottom. So I can't clip it in. Right. So there I am. I'm like, oh, it won't clip in. So there it is like that. Let's do the bottom one again. Clips in. Now sometimes when you fit an international fitting limb, it's really hard and you're like, I can't get this thing apart. I'm literally applying all the force I can to this international fitting limb. And I swear before, this was just easy. Now, the way to do this, you press down on the limb a little bit, and I can't move it at all. Now, I obviously got it apart. So the other one, clips in, clips out nicely. It's basically a thumb push. I'll do this one. There, there. So this limb here is a little bit tighter. Oh. Now this is what international fittings limbs are like, and then it's like, I can't move it. Oh. Good for a video. Oh, then it just falls out. Now international fitting limbs are like this, and it's often when the bow's new, it's like that. And I'm going to show you why. So the little screw here, see there? I'm going to zoom right up. Now this little bit which goes parallel gets stuck in that hole there. Now eventually, you can see this one there forms a little mark, and this little edge of the circle there will become rounded. Now as soon as that becomes rounded, this will clip in really easily. Anyway. So that's it now, and it's... So the more times you do it, the easier it will become. Now that's, with all the bows behind me here, it's pretty much the same. So if I grab a premium riser, so on international fitting limbs, the distances should all be identical, and you can see it actually clips in here really, really easy. Like, I'm not even applying any force. Now the tolerances on this are, oh, see that there, that's a bit looser too. Now sometimes on international fitting limbs, it's a bit of a skill. You push down here and then you slide it out. Now by pushing down, you're actually pushing that little spring. You push down and then it should come apart. So anyway, on all international fitting limbs, sometimes it can be a little bit, I'm just going to zoom up here. Hopefully you can see that. So this one here has already been, when I say used, it's had a couple of limbs into it before, so it's developed that line. So it becomes easier the more you do it. Now if ever you get stuck and you go, I can't move the limb out, you just loosen the bolt off there, and inside this is a pin system. Inside there's a spring, and basically as soon as you release this, that this little thing here will move inside and the limb will just slide straight out. But it will work in. It will work in. You can see how easy it is. How easy it is. Now, versus how it was originally. So the upper one, yeah, like to me that's fine. That's the way it fits. But sometimes all international fitting limbs, doesn't matter whether you buy a $2,000 bow or a $200 bow. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to start with. Now there have been times on cheaper bows that sometimes the limb just here, the distance between here, the tolerances are very tight, so it fits between a bolt. I'm going to try and zoom in the bolt head here. The bolt head and that tolerance is really tight. So sometimes if it's too tight, you might have to file or sand the inside of these. Now, out of all the limbs I've ever sold, I'm going to say I've had to sand it, and it's, you know, millimeter. Probably 1 or 2 limbs. It's very, very rare. Most times it'll just work just through you clipping in and clipping out the limb. And that is common with new limbs, that it's actually tight. The more you work the limb, the easier it becomes. You can see now I'm like, just from doing this video, you can see how much easier it's become versus at the start. At the start it was obviously, I was like, I can't budget the thing. I know what the customer's talking about, but now it's just easy. So anyway, so that's international fitting limb. So if it's a little bit hard to start with, you can try pushing down, so you press on that button, and if it is so hard, just use the Allen key, take the head off, and the spring pops out. That little thing there will push inside and the limb will come out. But it's pretty simple. I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. I hope that's been helpful. Most times you won't need it, but it is regular for new bows to be really tight on international fitting limbs. Thanks for watching. Bye.